It's International Coaches Week, and this week is all about celebrating the power and impact of coaching. And Coaches Week is from May 13th to 19th. And so I decided I was going to interview coaches that I like, who I think are great at coaching, and who I would love for the people that I know to know about. Because I'm not everyone's coach. So if there's someone that is better suited for you, here are the people I know. So today I'm going to talk to my friend Aliona, who I met through training, and we've coached each other and kind of gotten to know each other over that time. And I wanted to talk to her. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got into coaching?
Hi, Leah. Hi, everyone who's watching. Thank you so much for inviting me, and I'm very happy to tell about myself. So, I actually am a lawyer, and I worked in New York City for many years as patent litigator, and then a lawyer in entertainment and sports on the transactional side. And I've been was interested in psychology for a really long time, even before I was a lawyer, and then I started to meditate and do different practices. And then I started really getting too interested in something that we never learn in school, which is self-awareness,
Mm.
mindfulness, and working with self, understanding self. And it fascinated me and the things that it brought in my life. And then I think naturally I'm a person who wants to help. And then all of a sudden I kind of discovered this coaching world and decided to help other people as well. So I learned coaching, and I kind of still learning. There's so
Yeah.
many different
Oh
tools.
my gosh. That's one of the things I think part of the reason I love coaching is you're always learning something new. And I mean, most people who are coaches are really curious and good learners, right? And so we're like, oh, new tool. Oh, new thing. So totally makes sense.
Yes, it never ends. The learning never ends.
It doesn't, because and also we learn, I think as coaches, you learn across time from all the different people that you coach, and you're like, that worked, that didn't, I'll
Yeah,
try this, so this, and so it's just a constant
yeah.
learning and growth role. And I think that makes it a lot of fun. So tell me, what do you like to sort of specialize in and focus on, and who is your like
Hmm.
favorite kind of client to work with?
Hmm. I think I will go back to myself again
Yeah.
because I have dealt with an anxiety and stress, and learning the tools to deal with myself and to re-regulate myself
Mhm.
in that high stress environment like New York City, legal. It's very high paced. It's big stakes, and it's go 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 24/7. Many people will relate, and I think that lifestyle expanded from New York City into around the world pretty much just because we have phones. So everybody started feeling the anxiety and being on 24/7. So
Yeah.
my biggest thing for myself as I was working was the anxiety and re-regulation.
Mhm.
So most of my clients do have the anxiety and kind of and they can come from different walks of life. I started actually working with finance and legal people who
Mhm.
are, as my friends. I was like, hey, can you practice with me? And that's how I can kind
Yeah.
of started to surround it by those type of clients. But then later, just traveling around the world, I met sports people. I have right now one person who is like a champion in Muay Thai in
Oh, wow.
Asia, and I work with him because he's very anxious. So, different people who, people from Costa Rica and people from Belgium, and so kind of different people, but we all united by the current state of
Right.
affairs, and having an anxiety for because we're constantly on. So I think an anxiety is one major thing, and also changing directions is when a person hits a certain season. So we call it in coaching, and then they overgrown somewhere but they cannot really
Yeah.
let go of something and they don't know where to go. So it's this hard patches that people go through
Yeah.
again in different industries.
Yeah.
So that's my specialty,
I love it.
so
I
to
love it. And
speak.
I think what people don't know about you is that you're like a world traveler. Every time I talk to you, you're in some other country. Uh, and and
Yes.
I think one of the things that I think is really unique to what you do is you do see that around the world we are all struggling with certain types of anxiety, certain types of transitions.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter your walk of life, your income, who you are, where you
Yes.
live. We all share the human experience of sometimes I feel anxious and I'm going through change, right? So I think that's something that you
Yeah. Yeah.
go
And
ahead.
this was my biggest learning, I think, in the last 4 years that I've been a nomad and traveling around the world and learning and working with people, is that I thought that if I leave New York City, the life will be different. But I learned that it's actually the same.
Yeah,
And it was a pretty powerful learning, I think, that human experiences is the same. Doesn't matter it's a poor country or a rich country,
right.
there's still same human desires, human functions, and human emotions. So
100%. It's so interesting. When I worked in the travel industry, that's one of the reasons I loved it is I was like, listen, we need to understand that you need to go places to see that humans are
yes,
humans and
yes,
humanity is humanity. So yeah. So and I think that makes I think that's an extra flavor of your coaching that I think you can bring is basically being from somewhere and being all over the world. And so I think that's really cool. So when you think about coaching, is there something about coaching that you wish people knew or a myth that you wish you could say, oh, I'm going to wave some fairy dust and it will disappear that myth. But what about coaching do you wish people knew or understood?
mm-hmm. Huh. So I think maybe two things. One is there is a negative association with coaches because everybody can kind of like be a coach, which is not true. So I wish people, but it's because we have so many different coaches. There's 21-year-old coaches, and then there's 60-year-old coaches, and they may bring different things. But the 21-year-old coach may help the person who is 20, right, and
Right.
dealing with those
Right.
20-year-old problems. So I wish coaching was a little bit more respected, just because most people go there to help others and to share the hardships that they've been through.
Right.
So that's one. And quickly, second one is the fact that I've been in therapy and I also have a coach, and you coach me sometimes.
Yeah.
So I am fascinated how much coaching can help, just because coaching space is where you can understand yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes coach, you feel like, oh, but coach didn't really do anything. But in that space, and your brain was able to process and formulate the answer of your own. So I am really fascinated how much coaching really can help with different situations
Yeah. No, I love that.
and different problems.
I love that. I love that you said that because I do think, I mean, we know that coaching and therapy are different. The training is different, the background is different, but there are places where they overlap. But I 100% agree with you. Like the thing that we do as coaches is really open a container and hold that space, right? And say like, okay, let's
Yeah.
talk about you, right? And I was telling someone recently, like I had a client yesterday that I was talking to, and he talked for a while, and I was like, where are we going? Right. As a coach, you're often like, what's happening in here?
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally said, do you want me to tell you what I heard you say? And he was like, sure. And so I just kind of repeated
Mm-hmm.
back to him what I heard, but kind of with a little bit of what I bringing some things together. And he literally said, oh, that's why I pay you. Right. Because he heard something out
Yes.
of my voice,
Yes.
basically
Yes.
theming together some of the
Yeah.
things he had said over the course of 30 minutes.
Yes.
And he was like, oh, yeah, that's why I pay you. Right.
Yes.
Because suddenly he was like, I see it. Right. What was
So,
the space I was holding?
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get these fascinating insights because of the other person, and the other person, not just sometimes it could be a friend, but if there's a coach, he or she is really properly trained. And the things that I wish people know, just to continue this topic, is that coaching is this soft, so you buy a cake, there's like a tangible thing, and you kind of think, okay, I paid for this. But in coaching, some people may not really see these shifts. Like your client you just spoke about, he really understood your value. But
Right.
sometimes people get these huge insights in the conversation with us, with the coach,
Yeah.
and they don't really kind of see the value. So the coaching is this soft skill that the soft niche, that I
Yeah.
think is very, very valuable, and a lot of people underestimate it.
Totally. Totally agree. I love it. That's a really good point. And it can feel so much like you're just having a chat that the other person is like, I'm not sure what you did, right?
Yes.
And you're like, no, I did a thing. I was doing,
Exactly,
right? I was
exactly,
working. You were talking,
exactly,
right?
exactly.
So yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool.
But they
Anything
might
else?
not
Yeah, sorry.
necessarily realize that they changed something or they did something because,
Right.
yep, finished.
No, no, totally, totally. Anything else about coaching or what you do that you want to share?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I think
Awesome.
I really love coaching, and if I could do for the rest of the life just coaching, I would probably do it. But
Yeah.
I have a really loud bicycle. I'm
No,
sorry.
I can't hear it. It's okay.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool.
Okay.
Okay, are you accepting clients? And if so, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yes, I'm accepting clients, and people can find me on Instagram, Aliona Ierega,
Okay,
or my website, Aliona, coachingandbrainspotting.com. I
awesome.
think that's what my website's
Yeah,
name. I
it's okay.
don't
And also, it'll be
know.
everyone, you can
Yes.
see the information right below us here. So
Thank you.
you don't have to spell it out. That's the good news. Like, but perfect.
Thank you.
Well, thank you
Thank
for
you so
letting
much
me. No, go ahead.
for having me.
Yeah, thanks for letting me chat with you. It was really
Thank
fun.
you so much for having me.
Awesome. All right. Talk to you soon.